Have you or a loved one been affected by measles, mumps, and rubella? Have you gotten heavy fevers and a rash that just won't come off? Well, don't fret. You're not alone. Let's take a look at why this might be happening.
Measles is one of the most deadly diseases out there due to the fact that it's highly contagious. It is said from the CDC that 9 out of 10 people will get it if there's someone infected in the room. And if an infected person coughs or sneezes, this is how the disease is transmitted, because it's transmitted throughout the air. And what makes it so dangerous is that it can linger in a room
For up to 2 hours.
What are these red dots on my arm? No! If you happen to catch measles, you can expect very bad symptoms with a very high fever, a horrible rash, and a very bad cough. Measles can also lead to pneumonia, brain swelling, and even death in some cases. And this is usually apparent in small children. In the 1960s, nearly every child by the age of 15 got measles, and this disease sickened around 3 to 4 million people, causing about 500 deaths per year and hospitalizing around 50,000 people per year.
Feeling a little swollen lately? Got aches, pains, and maybe even a fever you can't shake? Well, you might have mumps. Mumps is a contagious viral infection. This mainly affects your salivary glands, especially the ones right below your ears. And when infected, they can swell up, which giving you a classic chipmunk teeth. Right? So, what are the symptoms of mumps? You can have swollen, tender cheeks or jaw, fever or a headache, muscle aches, fatigue, loss of appetite, and sometimes pain while chewing or swallowing. Big question. It travels through air, saliva droplets from coughing or sneezing, or talking. It could also spread through, or just, being closer to someone. That's actually a fast track to infection, so don't do that, guys.
Are you pregnant? Well, if you are, you might want to be worried about rubella. Rubella, also known as German measles, is a contagious virus. Rubella is usually mild for children and adults, causing a low-grade fever, sore throat, and with a rash that starts at the face and spreads to the rest of the body. Rubella is transmitted by coughing and sneezing, and it can also spread by direct contact with infected mucus from the nose and the throat. However, during pregnancy, rubella can lead to major complications because it can be passed on from the pregnant woman to the unborn children through the bloodstream. This can cause major underdevelopments in the child and can cause the child to be stillborn or become a miscarriage. So if you're planning on getting pregnant soon, make sure to be protected from rubella before you do so. Although once you've had the disease once, you are permanently immune.
Don't panic, there's protection. Introducing the MMR vaccine.
The MMR vaccine, which stands for measles, mumps, and rubella, is your best defense. It's safe, it's effective, and it's given in 2 doses. One around 12 or 15 months, and the other one given around 4 to 6 years.
One dose of the MMR vaccine is 93% effective against measles, 72% effective against mumps, and 97% effective against rubella. The second dose of MMR brings it up to 97% effective against measles and 86% effective against mumps. But first, how did this vaccine come to be?
In 1954, a massive measles outbreak hit a boarding school in Boston because apparently viruses like a good prep school education.
Enter Dr. Thomas Eagle, who went around swabbing throats and drawing blood like a very polite vampire.
Lucky winner, an 11-year-old named David Edmonton. The Peoples managed to grow a measles culture from David's sample, which is about as generous as cultivating mold, but way more useful.
Feeble's boss, the legendary John Franklin Inler, used the newly captured virus to start developing a vaccine from 1958 to 1960. with Endler and his team began testing their vaccine on a small group of children, presumably with parental consent and a bunch of lollipops.
By 1961, the vaccine was declared 100% effective, making the MVP of the decade. By 1963, it was officially licensed for public use, finally giving measles the boot.
Individual countries introduced mass vaccination programs against the measles at the national level from the 1960s on. The first internationally focused measles immunization programs took place in Africa in 1966.
In 1971, Hillman combined the recently developed vaccine with measles, mumps, and rubella to make the MMR vaccine. And this was administered in one singular shot, which later introduced with the booster shot to provide more safety.
How exactly does this vaccine work?
That's a great question. Here's a demo.
What's good, Chris? Yo, what's up?
What are those red dots on your arm?
Ah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Bye. No, I have measles. I feel like I have a high fever. And a horrible cough. I should have got the MMR vaccine. Oh.
Yo, Elijah.
Oh, yo, bro, you got measles, bro.
Yo, bro, it's not a big deal.
Bro, you gotta make sure you get your MMR vaccine. You get your MMR vaccine?
No.
Yo, get away from me, get away from me. You gotta stay protected like me when I got my MMR vaccine.
Who's ready for their MMR vaccine?
Me!
Alright, hold still. Take a deep breath.
Ah, I feel so protected. One major misconception about the MMR vaccine is that it's linked to autism. This is not true. The vaccine has no relation with autism. Autism encompasses a spectrum of characteristics which vary from patient to patient. Also, there's a spectrum of causes including both genetic and environmental factors, none of which involve the vaccine. Some people may believe this myth due to a study by Andrew Wakefield in 1998. The study was done at a well-known hospital and published by The Lancet, a very well-known journal. He looked at 12 children, 8 of whom the parents reported developing autism after the MMR vaccine. A lot of problems arose after this study was published. First off, the cases were cherry-picked. They didn't come from a random assortment, they were picked on purpose. Second off, given that the age that the children received the MMR vaccine is very similar to when some children regress into autism. By chance alone, some children would develop autism after the vaccination. So from a scientific perspective, this paper does not show much and does not link autism to the vaccine.
Want to keep your school, your friends, and your family healthy? Get the MMR vaccine!
Measles, mumps, and rubella might sound old school, but they're still around and still contagious. With good awareness, good hygiene, and the power of vaccination, you can stop MMR in their tracks today.
Be sure to cover your coughs.
Don't cough on me! And make sure to also wash your hands.
Get vaccinated.
Stay safe, stay protected, say goodbye to measles, mumps, and rubella before they say hello to you.
Make sure to go to your local doctor, office, or like CVS or pharmacy, or Walgreens, get the vaccine.
I got the MMR vaccine and I am okay.
I took the MMR vaccine and I feel fine.
I took my MMR vaccine and I feel protected.
I took the MMR vaccine and I feel great.
I got the MMR vaccine and I feel protected.
I got the MMR vaccine and I feel protected.
Common side effects may include fever, mild rash, redness, soreness, swelling, injection sites, swollen lymph nodes, temperature, short pain, stiffness, feeling tired, low, loss of appetite. Minor side effects may include feveritis seizures, thrombocytopenia, allergic reactions, eye stitching, rash. Rare serious side effects may include anaphylaxis, difficulty breathing, swelling of the face, and or throat, fast heartbeat, long-term seizures, or changing consciousness, coma, brain damage, feeling bars, and neurohepatitis severe, autoimmune thrombocytopenia, very rare side effects include meningitis, ataxia, autoimmune thrombocytopenia,